maybe he just didn't want to be a burden.
The 59-year-old Army veteran went missing December of 2013. He asked his wife for a gift card to go buy cigarettes and was never seen again.
Right there's a highway sign, so you can absolutely launch off the top there if you wanted to.
He's out there somewhere, Jared. He really is out there. I pray every day that he just give me a sign, or that God give me a sign and lead us to where he is.
Something's happened to my brother between point A and point B, and I just need everybody to look for him.
Not the news that I wanted to give Yvonne.
Families who have all but given up on finding their loved ones, this team is a last hope. Civilian divers cracking cold cases for free.
All right, good morning, Yvonne.
Good morning, Mr. Jared.
Go on camera and play with me. I know initially we were supposed to come in today and tomorrow, and we ended up coming in a couple days early. So I kind of felt bad getting started without you, and we're so hopeful. We've been on such a roller coaster of emotion ride the last couple of days that we've kept it from you, because that's how much it was, and I did not want to get your hopes up, and I'm glad that we didn't put the phone call in, because I can only imagine what we were going through would have been tenfold for you on the other side. So, so kind of bring us into the, we have Donnie. He's already lost his left leg. He's having, the thoughts of, I might end up losing my right leg. And just, kind of bring us into for our viewers and everybody as well, Donnie, the relationship that you had with him. Not everybody's seen our first 3, 4, 5 episodes that we put into this, and we'll put the links in the description down below. But if they've never seen this, let's, let them know who Donnie is.
He's my best friend. Donnie and I are from a family of 6 kids. And my oldest brother was 15 years older than me, and Donnie was the closest to me. He was 7 years older than me. I was like a mistake that happened numerous years later. And he was just the best. I mean, growing up, I didn't have siblings around except him. And he never excluded me, even when he was hanging with all of his buddies from the neighborhood. This little bitty, short, shrimpy girl was always allowed to join in. We talked every single day. There wasn't a day that didn't go by that he didn't call me at 5:30 in the morning and just check to see if I was awake. Of course I wasn't, but we just had a very, very tight bond. And I miss him tremendously, but he loved to fish, and he loved the Ozarks. And that's why he ended up moving down here. He was very intelligent, made big bucks with Mitsubishi for years when he was physically able to do their programming for them. And then when health went sideways, he became a risk, and they had to let him go. So he moved back to Missouri, and that's when everything just kind of transpired downhill financially and physically. And I won't lie, in the beginning, there was no way. I talked to him the night before he went missing. He called me at 8:30 at night, which was very unusual, and asked me if I could hear him okay on his phone. And I told him, yeah. I said, I can right now, and then the phones went dead, and that was the last time I ever heard from my brother. And it's really hard, because I wanted to believe in the beginning that somebody did something wrong. There's no way he would take his life. But as we're going into the 9th year, and the more I think about it, the more it was maybe he really just couldn't handle life anymore. And even though baby sister always said, I'll take care of him, I'll take care of you. All you gotta do is come here, I'll take care of you. Maybe he just didn't want to be a burden. Now that's why I want to search every freaking body of water I can find, because he's out there somewhere, Jared. He really is out there. I pray every day that he just give me a sign, or that God give me a sign and lead us to where he is, and someday they will. We'll find him someday. And but he was a good guy, absolutely good guy. Loved to fish, play frisbee, loved good blues music, loved his wife unconditionally, has a wonderful son, and who I now have a really very strong relationship with because of, he's all I got left of Donnie. That's all I have is Jeremy. So that's who he is and what he's all about. And I want him to come home. I don't even care anymore why. You know what I'm saying? For a long time, you want to know why. Why did this happen? Why did it have to happen? At this point, I just want to bring him home. I just want to give him a burial and the respect he deserves, because I know he's not alive. There's just, I've accepted that a long time ago. But now all the questions of why did it happen doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
We just need to know where. We need to bring him home.
I just need to bring him home. God will take care of whatever happened. If there was anything bad that happened, God will take care of that. I don't need to take care of that. So now it's just bringing him home and laying him to rest and giving him the respect that he deserves.
Well, we're starting early. We're going to, like I said, do everything we can again today. We're going to search all these areas and, again, have more answers. Hopefully the right answers we're looking for, but if not, we'll have more answers of where we can put another X, and that's all we can do. We'll keep going down that list for you.
I so appreciate everything that you have done. This is going on the 2nd year that you've been helping me in particular, but so many people. And every time I watch, I am so thankful when you found somebody's loved one. It's like, I feel like that's part of me, that I have actually been able to help these people because of watching your programming and watching everything that you guys do. And when you bring a loved one home, it's like, one of these days, that'll be me. That'll be me standing on there going, they found my brother, So I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You're welcome. We're going to see what we can do here. I know we were looking for permission because it's no boats on this one, so we'll find out in a few moments. When we came in, Tunnel Dam, as you know, has just always been that #1 spot that we've never been able to really clear it. And so coming in with the magnetometer, it's like, well, what if Donnie ended up below the dam there, and from that churning and everything that comes down over the dam?
They did go through in the last 3 to 5 years and dump all that big boulders on top of there because of the erosion factor. It dug that big well.
Yeah. And so in coming back with the magnetometer, we've been able to identify, and we got really hopeful because the magnetometer is new to us. And so it's hitting, it's like going off left and right. And so we ended up putting Dan in the water, and we ended up finding a bar, a great big, 14-foot bar. And then he comes up with this little triangle metal piece. It's like, all right, well, the magnetometer is working. We're hitting it on metal, but we're not hitting on a vehicle. Then we hit this great big, and this thing triggered 300-400 for the power of the magnetometer for these readings. It's like, well, that has to be a car. It's reading like no other. And so Dan goes down, and he finds it, and it's 14, 15, 16 foot, and it's got ridges and everything. And he's like, I think I'm standing on a ute. Well, he's from Australia. So a ute to him is a utility vehicle. It's what they call utes down there. And it looks like, he not only has the length of it, but he also has the, some width, like he's going across the hood and stuff. Then he comes up, he goes, I can lift the end of this. And so again, our emotions are going oh, is it not, is it not? And so we ended up having another volunteer that was there, and we ended up putting a strap around it, and we ended up towing it out. And it was, yay wide, and it was, 14 feet long or so. And we were really bummed at the end of the day. And so we knew where a vehicle was over by the bridge. So it's all right, let's start our morning there. So as we get in the water over there, we're scanning, and right at the end of the ramp, we find a vehicle that nobody has found. Dan goes down on this vehicle, and it's silver in color. Again, just the emotions of everything that we have going on. He's like, I can't make it out. There's no plate on the back of it. Just the way the entire boat ramp lined up, I thought we were gonna have the answers for you. Well, he ends up doing some more diving, and eventually he's able to identify that it's a old Ford Thunderbird. So Carson and I, we've dialed in the magnetometer settings. It's like, all right, on a sensitivity of 5, we're going to be reading of 1,000 to 1,500 if we're looking for a vehicle, a mass tonnage of of 1 ton. And so we went back to Tunnel Dam. Now the thing about this also, Yvonne, is the night before, as we were pulling out of there, we ran into a conservation officer, and we told him what we were doing and my area of interest above the dam. He said, here's my card. Go ahead and go search the dam.
Above
the dam.
on the other side of the barriers.
Yep, on the other side of the barriers. So we've cleared above the dam. We also then went back down below the dam, and we were able to clear below the dam as well with the magnetometer. The one reading that we still had left in question was giving us a reading of 300. It was not the 1,000 to 1,500 or so that we needed.
Okay.
So we were able to completely 100% now say that.
So I can mark that off of my...
Tunnel Dam, 100% mark that off. As we're wrapping up on Tunnel Dam also, one area of interest that it was near the end of the day. Off of Whistle Drive, you have the Whistle Bridge. There's a deep hole on both sides of that. So we put the boat in, and we searched and we scanned all that as well. And so that has now been cleared. Yesterday, we started our day on McCubbin. Part of the reason for that is coming back to Fort Leonard Wood. We have this letter that you shared with us.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of a difficult read.
Right.
In reading this paragraph. And my understanding is this is just a viewer.
It was a viewer that took it upon himself. He follows Donnie's pages because there are 2 of them.
Okay.
And he decided, with Fort Leonard Wood being so much closer than Columbia for a vet, that maybe Donnie went to Fort Leonard Wood. Maybe there was something that he wanted to work out psychologically, and he went to Fort Leonard Wood. I would have never thought of Fort Leonard Wood, but then this is the letter I got back from him.
Utilizing the information you provided revealed no files pertaining to Donald L. Erwin, who last seen at the gate on Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri on December 29th. So
that made me that made me think. The first part was saying he had no criminal infractions with the Navy or with the military of any kind.
Right.
But then that led me to believe he could have been seen at that gate.
That's how everybody's reading it,
That's
including
how I read it.
Mindy's brother, who was a lieutenant.
My son-in-law was stationed at Fort Leonard Wood when he was in the Army, and that's how he read it.
Right.
You know, this is saying, even though Donnie didn't take his wallet with him when he vanished, you can still, if you have your Social Security number, all they got to do is plug that in at the gate and show, yes, you were in the military.
Right.
And they could have allowed him onto the property, but then they have no record of him ever leaving the property. And according to my son-in-law, Fort Leonard Wood is 3,000 acres where you've got your homes and all that, but then you've got the training facilities which have large bodies of water on them and woods and all that. So that's why I reached out to you with that, because I'm like, okay, here's another possibility.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't get on there, there are rivers you got to cross to get there.
So now we have this new 5-mile radius of thinking, all right, he went to the gate, he got denied access because he didn't have his wallet or whatever reason, that we don't have evidence that he made it on. So now, does he leave? Is he upset? And now what route is he going to take home? Is he a 44 guy? Now he looks down and he sees the river down there, but it's too shallow there. Route 7, we know that he likes to drive the back roads, that Route 44 would not be his normal route. Same thing, too shallow, no deep holes. We cleared that one. What if he came up over 17 and he sees this access point and he just drops down into there and there's a deeper hole there? So we ended up dropping the RV in there at the end of the day. Big fiasco. We ended up getting stuck. We were there for a couple of hours. The entire community came together and helped get us out, as well as an incredible, tow company from Camdenton here. But we did not find Donnie yesterday either at all of these locations that we cleared. So we go back. We have the you're never going to find me. We have at the end of Highway D, and so now we have Bagnell Dam access ramp. We have this pond that is only a couple hundred yards off the main road up here, past the campground off of D. And then we have the very last location, end of Missouri D and 54, where those two roads come together as well. We're gonna get this going for you, all right?
All right.
All right, thanks, Yvonne.
Also got worried it was going to snap it.
Yes.
We've only ever thrown it.
50-pound line.
Okay. Okay.
It's 50-pound line. You just have to know how to cast a ball properly, like this. See that? Do you see how nice and clean that throw was?
You were aiming over there.
Don't worry about where I was aiming, okay? It was my first throw. You got it now?
Yeah, we're reading now.
Okay. So, I cast it right over there, Dan.
Yeah, let me hold the phone for you, buddy.
Dan, I'm gonna cast it right over there, okay? Right there, see? It's perfect cast, just like I planned.
Right now, it's reading 194 feet.
Yeah, I know it's definitely not 194 feet.
So that's a misreading. That tells me that either we have way too much growth for it to do a proper scan, or it's just way too shallow for it to do a proper reading.
Yeah, let me send it over there.
126.7 feet.
That's perfect.
Wow.
I like that.
Carson, you got 2 pickup points on the ball itself. Is it possible you're on the wrong pickup point?
Let's see.
So you want to be onshore.
Look,
so this
look,
is from the
see-
bridge.
look-
This is from the bridge, so you need to
Look,
hook
see
it.
where it says to hook it right there for water, right there.
Last time we used it, we were on a bridge, so that's why we hooked it to a higher point.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's turn it over then and try it there.
That should fix all of our problems. See, Dan is really smart. He knew exactly what was wrong with it. He just wanted to see us struggle because he thinks it's funny.
Yeah. All right, see if that works now.
So right now we're at 4.8, 4.7, 4.5. So it actually does drop off pretty significantly right there.
Yes, I mean, it's not big and bad.
3.6.
Yeah.
I mean, way deeper than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, let me cast it over where I think it's a little bit deeper. See if we can get like 8 feet out of it. I just threw it to the exact same spot though.
5.5, 5.6, 5.5, 5.2, 5.48.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Did you get a catch?
big fish on, yeah. I've got another line of some sort right there.
Oh, interesting.
Look at that perfect cast right there. That's just right where I want it. How's your depth up there? 3.8.
I think it's loading. It's not moving. Oh, okay, 5.4. It's the last reading I got from it. 6. Got up to 6.
Yeah, without it having to drop off near here, I'm gonna go ahead and just say no on this one. And I say let's go to some of our other locations that are more probable today. Alright, let me stop here. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. I got a bad eye today.
Oh, no worries. We're following up on a cold case, looking for a missing person. And so we were just checking for permission if we can head down to the river here, and we're gonna put a small inflatable in and do some sonar work and see if we can find a car underwater, if that's okay with you.
Okay, you know, is it a car or a truck?
We're looking for a car.
Oh, okay, because we found a truck when the river was way down on the bank down here a few years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, just I'll give you permission.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Wow, that's steep too. It goes straight down. Yeah, you got a sandbar on the other side, but what kind of a hole do you have in here? But I feel like you've got only 3.5, 4 feet deep right here. With another sandbar out there, but like I said, you could have a channel right here. I could probably pull straight down and get turned around down here.
Yep, you could. You're not gonna, but you could.
So when we look at this, Carson, a couple things we want to look at. One is, what is the depth through here? But even though the water is running that way, we want to consider and think about, one, back eddies, but also if a vehicle is floating and depending on what the wind might be, right now you can feel the wind is coming this way. So with a car floating, very little current, if that's what we had at the time, you could absolutely have a car float up into this little section here as well. So we're gonna double check here, and then we're gonna check probably 700 yards or so downriver here as well, since it's a larger body of water. So I appreciate Dan, but I appreciate him even more if you tighten up my motor next time. That's right, I got it. Oh, we're still at 6 feet here. I like this, Carson.
You know what I like about this too? Is like, just statistically speaking, the amount of water we've checked so far, the likelihood of us finding the right one now is even higher.
Yeah.
Not only that, but you take into account the information that we learned of, I'm gonna go off of Highway D, we're off of Highway D, and there's a road that comes into this waterway that's literally 6.5 feet deep as we're talking.
Yeah, and it's cloudy, it's not clear.
That's like, just everything is adding up right now. I feel like this may in fact be the location. Not only that too, look at the location, look how secluded it is. Very secluded. If you drive right past, no one's gonna know. Also, they found a truck here too.
Yep. When the water level dropped. Now the water level is dropped to some nice lows right now, so it could have been even lower. Or maybe this is the lowest it's been, I don't know. All right, now we're at 3 feet here. Getting up to a sandbar here. .4 feet, so we're gonna be too shallow over here, which is heading up into the little cove right here. And if a vehicle went in there, this is upriver with a little bit of a breeze. It's not gonna be any further than this right here. So now we'll turn it and we'll run into the river and we'll head down about 700 yards. All right, give me a car today. Let's bring Donnie home today. Here's where the channel drops off. So now we're 7 feet, 8 feet, 9 feet, 10 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, 15 feet, wow. Yeah, it just got even more promising, didn't it? 16 feet, 17 feet, 18 feet, more logs. Yeah, I'll show you on side scan what I'm seeing here. Yeah, I want to scan this area really good through here, Carson, with it being 15 feet through there. Yeah, some tree logs in here, whole trees in here. So we're dropping back down right here. I'm gonna go down and around the next bend down there.
Now, do you know if there's any other access points on this little lake over here, or is this the only?
This is actually the river. So we're gonna be putting it in at the dam today, where D also kind of touches it. And that's below the dam, which is the dam that holds back all the water for Lake of the Ozarks. Oh. So this is the river below that. Whoa, we don't want to lose that. I hit a log. Ooh, what is that right there? What if that was a car up against a log? All right, so I believe it's just a tree. And if you look where like the water is gurgling right there, do you see like a different certain spot right there on the left? Like a big root ball is right there. And then we're coming up on the great big long tree. Right here is what we're doing. And I have it on side scan here. Yeah, that's not a car. Gotta read the water, Carson, read the water. Maybe you didn't really bring your water reading glasses today. See, there's the other ripple I was talking about right there. Plain as day, Carson. Oh wow, look at that one. Now, what I want to look for is if I have a car in there. Now we're going to take a reading off the shoreline there, kind of off of that tree, and then we have this log in the middle of the river over here too. Now we're going to come across it this way. Yeah, when you have so much of this going up and down, let's say you have like a hillside here, okay, and you have something laying right up against it. Think about sonar like a flashlight, okay? So it's a flashlight in a dark room with a silhouette, your body. So if you lay your body directly against something and you're shining a flashlight on it, you're not going to see that silhouette. That silhouette is what we're looking for. But if you move away from it, then you're going to be able to see that silhouette better. And that's what we're looking for, those shadows. And the silhouettes is what gives us our reading, not the actual looking at the object itself. Yeah, it's just a tree that way. So see, it's running down river that way. Now I want to get on the upper side of it. So it should be coming right up over the root of it in just a moment. Yeah, I don't think it's big enough to be a car. That's right where it's at. Look on your on your life scope. Yeah, it's definitely a tree, not a car.
Yeah. Now that you point it out, it kind of like looks like it's like kind of back flowing versus everything else is like going a straight line this way.
Yep.
So if there's something underneath the water and it's causing like a backflow, that water is kind of gonna stay put.
Yeah, like see another one that we're coming up on right here?
Yeah. That's really weird.
Yeah, that's just a great big root ball there. The river's definitely given us some depths that could definitely hide Donnie's vehicle. But like Yvonne was saying, you know, earlier today, you know, every time we can just put a big X on something, you know, that takes some weight off of her. She no longer has to think about that area. Yvonne, I can't believe how promising this area became.
Really?
Like it just drops down into like a 17-foot hole, and you have like just this entire like little cove here that whether the water was still and a little bit of wind, you know, then it goes back up to around 3 feet or so, so it would keep a vehicle in here. And then same thing heading out, it just kind of sandbars up, and so you have a nice little pool in here where a vehicle would not leave. Regardless, we did go ahead and head downriver 600, 700, 800 yards. For a river flowing at this, whether it's winter time or, you know, something similar to this, even if it was up another 5 feet or so, it's not moving that fast through here, especially coming out of this little cove area. A vehicle, in my opinion, is not going to make it any more than 100 yards for this location.
Okay.
But we covered another 700, 800 yards downriver.
Just in case.
Yeah. So that's going to take us now, let's jump over to the bottom of the Bagwell Dam, and we have the access ramp over there. So same river, we're going to come back down the Highway D that brings us back down, and then we're going to jump over to the backside of this access.
Right, this is the back side of the dam.
But a couple of things I'm interested in. One is the access for the boat ramp here.
Yep.
And then I'm also interested in coming off of Valley Road here in more of a high speed coming off of here. So I really want to focus on that side of the river as well. So we'll head over there next after we load up.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. This is kind of a nice little secluded place here down here, Mindy. Now this really doesn't like qualify as the end of D, but there's, you know, D is nearby, but not really D. You have a straight shot into the water here. Even today at a 1 p.m., you have one vehicle that's here. My understanding also, and I'll have to ask Yvonne in just a moment, but there was something about this area here and bringing his kids here and something about an arcade up above, or what's the story with that?
It's called the Strip, and all of it up and down for probably, I don't know, I'd say 3/4 of a mile. There was a skee ball, just like on the sidewalk, a skee ball that you could do.
On the sidewalk, like outside?
Yeah. There was a haunted house, there were bumper cars, there's an arcade that's still there. Like if people came in town, your family members from out of town, everybody, you always took them to the Strip. But all of that fun stuff that we did, most of it isn't here anymore.
All right, well, let's put in then, see if we can find Donnie here. Let's make this our last location.
Let's.
What I have noticed so far out of every location that we've searched besides Tunnel Dam, this is, here we are, you know, on a Monday at 1 p.m.
Nobody here.
Nobody here.
And it's easy access.
And so now you come to December 29th, you know, at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, you're gonna have nobody out here with easy access, as you mentioned.
Well, yeah, and at a high rate of speed, you could be flying down this thing.
I mean, I'm not saying that I didn't want to solve this before, Carson, but, you know, just hearing Yvonne and her heart, and I just want to solve this even more now than ever before. Like, you really start to form a bond with families where you become their friends, and you want nothing more than to be the one to give them those answers. That river is actually moving pretty good through here. You got a big fish swimming right in here. Yeah, huge fish. You can see it right here.
Do you think it's possible that if a vehicle were to come in, you have like sandbars right here, may come over on top of the vehicle?
Oh, anything's possible. Difference in here is you have more of this big heavy rock. It moves a lot different than your sand moves. Is it possible? 100%. Anything's possible. Especially on the Randy Leach case that we're heading back to. We have a few areas of interest that after 32 years, we do have the potential that the vehicle went in, it settled in, it was covered up, and that's where the magnetometer is going to come into play as we pull that out at 2 or 3 locations, especially Stranger Creek. You have Stranger Creek that's a river that kind of is a little gully and valley. Huge debris pile over here I really want to focus in on. So when I come across something like this right here, look at this. So you have something here, but more so I'm really interested in,
right there.
Look at all of this. So tree root, but you have drop-offs and shadows right there too.
This off to our right?
Yeah, so we're gonna head off into that deeper water. So right now we're in 5.5 feet of water. Now we're gonna drop off into like 17 feet of water there where it got deeper in that shadow. So now you can see where it's dropping off. 9 feet, 10 feet. So on live scope coming up on the log there. Another log there. See the log on live scope? There's the root ball I was talking about. A lot of fish around it. Very consistent. And when you look at the down imaging here, I'll show you exactly how it popped up on down imaging. So it went all the way across here on down imaging. But with the way that this river, runs, even on a calm day, it's running quicker than a lot of the rivers that we're in. So like at a coast, we're still at like 3 miles an hour. And so John Zarkowski taught us a few things. We continue to learn on every case that we go out on. With Donnie's car, it's a smaller car, lighter car, going to float longer than John Zarkowski's. However, John Zarkowski's was an SUV, so it still had quite a bit of space inside of it that was watertight to hold the vehicle and float it down further than expected. Right now we're probably coming up on the 600 yard mark, and I just want to be extra diligent on this one because of how the river's flowing and that lesson, to come down an extra 200, 300, 400 yards further than we would normally go. The other thing that we've also learned is reading it different next to banks. Because it does drop off, you don't want to miss where, again, coming back to the Facebook or the flashlight analogy, you don't want your flashlight, your sonar, to miss that reading up against something like a steep bank and a steep drop off. And then we come to the lesson of Ralph Brown. We missed Ralph Brown the first 3-4 times that we searched the boat ramp there. And a lot of it was because we ended up with something like this. What if Donnie is under this pile of debris? Well, we know this drops off because of the way that the shadows are. So now we're gonna move over to the right by 20 to 30 feet. Now we're really going to focus in on this debris pile and see if we can spot anything on live scope, as well as side imaging and down imaging. See how it's dropping off into that 15-foot hole? And we want to identify, do we have a vehicle that's buried underneath all of these logs and these trees? So now you can see that we're over that 30 feet or so that I mentioned. And now you're going to watch us come up over these, and we're going to read them differently. And so Carson's kind of hitting the live scope up and down right there. And so now that we have this reading on side, we know that this section is clear. We can see it on down. We can see that section is clear. And so between the 3 of these is how we're able to clear these and really give ourselves peace of mind and confidence that this area is cleared properly. Like right there. That's an area of interest right there. See that, Carson? We want to double check that one. Yes, it's manipulated over this area a lot more, and we want to be able to rule this out.
It's really
and right there you got a tree. That's a tree root, but look right there. No, that's a tree as well.
Really difficult when you have so many tree roots covering what you want to see what's underneath them.
Yeah, I mean this is plain as day on these trees right here. So from this angle, we can absolutely see
Oh yeah.
100% tree, no car tangled up in that tree. And here's where the tree is actually at. This is a shadow of the tree behind it. And at this angle, you can see, yep, when we change the angle, no car tangled up in there. And then one more thing for peace of mind, now we're gonna come into it at a 90-degree angle in here and finish clearing that area. It's gonna be more difficult because getting a side scan, down imaging as we're coming cross current is the most difficult to get a good reading out of all these. That was actually a really good reading for it being cross current.
Oh, that's because you're an expert, Jared. Yeah. You've done this a few times, I can tell.
I've done it once or twice, yeah. So then we'll hit it one more time just below that big tree right there. And we'll come in kind of straight at it. Yeah, I'm confident that this is clear, Carson. We're gonna check a few things on that side of the river too, up closer to the dam. Look at this big, look on your live scope.
Yeah, that's fish?
Yeah, that's fish. That's all a big school of fish.
Why are they so steady?
You like that? Look, see them breaking off right there?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? So on side scan, when you first see it, it looks like a vehicle or something. And then, yeah, and they move in the river and the shadows are different. And then, yeah, you come right over the top of it like that on live scope. It's really cool to see them. Okay, what do we have right here? Look at that. Yes, we do have something. I need to identify how long it is, exactly where it's at, and I don't know what it is. We need to get ourselves over it again and see if we can put better eyes on it and identify it.
That's a weird looking shape, dude, but it looks fairly smooth.
Well, yeah.
Fairly smooth.
Until we can see it from multiple angles, we won't know.
Right.
So that's what we need to go see if we can find it. So once I spot it again, we need to identify from the shore where it was at. This would be a proper location though, from the boat ramp, Carson. We had up in Oregon one time, there's some more fish on another school of fish. Anyway, why I mentioned the school of fish here in Oregon, we actually had fish that were down on the bottom like that, and they kept moving around, and so we kept scanning for this car, and it was like this car kept moving, and that's all it was. That it never was a car, it was just the way the fish looked like a car. And that may be what we're picking up on here. All right, so there's 22. Now we're too far out. Okay, so see it's off to the right again. So I'm gonna say that it was a school of fish. I'm gonna show you how it looks like a car in a shape, but then when you start breaking it down, it's nothing but fish right there. Oh, 13-foot hole over here, Carson. So we did get deep again. You have a potential location to drive off there, but I'm not real hopeful on this one. All right. I'll just kind of scroll back right here real quick, but here's the debris and everything that we just came across for that debris field. What I'm particularly interested in though, Carson, is that just a little ways up over here would be where you would launch off of Highway D across 54 into the water up here. And it's a little bit further up here where there's closer access to the road. And so the reason why this one has such significance is just coming back to earlier today, we searched the end of D. This is the only other end of D that ends at water. The road doesn't come down and end in water like the other one does, but it ends at water. And now we're getting too shallow here. Yeah, there's the pontoon boat there. And then a couple of docks in there. That clears this completely, Carson. Yeah, we got nothing. Not the news that I wanted to give Yvonne. Thank you, sir. This becomes one of the most difficult things for me, in that at this point, I feel like I'm not bringing any more hope to you. Because before, when we were on the first time we met, it was like, oh, we have so much more water to come back to search. To then coming back with our focus is so much on Tunnel Dam, to we just got done spending 4 days here. And every day that goes by, like Carson and I were out on the water talking, it's like every location, our odds go up to find Donnie. But then we come to the end of this, it's like, all right, well, now we have exhausted every plausible location. We've looked at the 5 mile radius from his home. We've looked at the 5 mile radius from Fort Leonard Wood as well. We've looked at this 5 mile radius from, whether Tonka to where, you guys would have family gatherings, to the end of the Highway D's, to you're never going to find me. Donnie is definitely good at making sure that we're not finding him. And so coming back to the difficult of this is, I may not be coming back for another search for you. And I wish that I had better answers, and I was just confident of, you know what, Yvonne, we didn't find him today, but we'll be back. But I don't have that statement for you this time.
I understand. He helped me. He's a good man. He helped my heart.
Let's bring Down Under Dan up here. Down Under Dan, if you guys have never met him, incredible man.
Absolutely. He gave me some very wise words of wisdom that touched my heart, and they'll never be forgotten. Thank you.
I'm very honored to have gotten to meet you and to work with you, to work for you and to serve you. I'm sorry that we were not successful in finding Donnie.
Don't apologize. Please don't apologize. You did more than anybody ever has in the 9 years he's been missing. You gave me hope, as I told you, and what else is there but hope?
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you're doing. That's all I ask. Keep bringing those people home for everybody else.
And we'll do this, we have a lot of people are going to be seeing all of these, and we're going to ask them, you're a fisherman, keep your sonar on, look at all of these private boat ramps, not just the public ones, but check out the private one. He's somewhere in the area. We know that he is. He's out there.
He was just good at hiding.
He's excellent at hiding, and I don't know if this is the words of wisdom that he gave you, or a different conversation I walked into earlier today that Mindy was talking to you. He found his peace.
That was all part of the same conversation, but Dan gave me some very wise words about God's will, and it meant a lot. And God's will be done.
Well, I'm glad that we had an opportunity to work with you and meet you, and we'll forever be friends from this.
Absolutely. I'm still going to follow you guys.
All right.
I'm still going to share all of your videos. And, it is what it is. And if he's meant to be found, he'll be found. And it may not be by you, because you also taught me that more eyes are better than none.
Yeah.
So if, maybe somebody else, you started a movement. You really did. And I've had more people reach out to me, individuals, as you know, going, hey, I'm gonna be in this area. Do you have a problem with me looking for your brother? And at first it was hard for me to say yes, but more eyes are better than none.
Say yes to everyone.
And that's what I've been doing because of you. My heart wanted it to be you, because you were the first that ever attempted to help me.
And you became a little defensive also with these other people reaching out, and I appreciate that.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Each and every time I told you, I said, we don't need to be the ones to find Donnie. He just needs to be found.
I just felt like there for a while, and I've shared this with Dan too, that I felt like people were just trying to jump in on your coat strings, you know, because it's not like he just went missing last week. He's been missing almost 9 years.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you knew this guy was missing down here for all these years. And now that these people have stepped up and helped me, now I feel like some of them wanted to just jump in on the tail end and take the glory. So yeah, I was a little defensive. But that's, like I said, that's when you said to me, Yvonne, you know, more eyes are better than none. Let them search, you know. And you brought up the word movement. We started a movement. And you did, and it's phenomenal. And I hope and pray that everybody out there that can help other people like this do, you know?
And I appreciate you allowing us to share your story.
Absolutely.
You know? Because the more eyes that are on not just your story, they're made aware of, especially families that need, and they're in the same position as you, that they need hope in their lives. You know, and not just our team, but the other teams that are out there as well, or anybody in their communities, you know, that they're invited to reach out, like you said, you know, like we've said, it is a movement. Yeah, so, you know, so we'll end this, you know, with a, you know, in loving memory of Donnie. You shared so many amazing memories of Donnie, and he's forever going to be in your heart.
Mindy mentioned having a possible, go ahead and have a memorial service, a celebration of life, and I would be honored if when I do choose to do this, if all of you, if possible, could make an appearance. Just, I don't know, you're busy people, but
and I, to be honest, I normally turn them down.
Okay.
For you, it might be a little bit different, but the reason why I turn them down is because it's the ones that we found.
Right.
You know, yours would be a little bit different with we're having that final, you know, closure, the resting, we never did find the answers. For others, we found the answers, and they have invited us to come, and we've said no to them because it's now their moment. It's now, you know, for their family. It's not for our team to show up and be like, hey, look, there's the team that did it, and now all the eyes and focus and the thank yous are on us. We don't want that.
No, that's not what I'd want that to be about anyway, because you're the people that gave me, you're the people that gave me hope. And showed me that there are people out there that care for their fellow man, because we don't care the way we should.
Yeah. We have to remember, you know, we're, at the end of the day, we're all somebody's, you know, brother, an uncle, a son, a daughter, a husband, a grandfather.
We're all God's children. We're all brothers and sisters, every one of us. We may not live in the same country, we may not live in the same state, but we're all God's children. Absolutely. Emotionally on a roller coaster.
Erwin's car was found by videographer James Hinkle when he spotted it in a pond when he was searching the area with his drone. He then searched the pond on a kayak and found a light-colored Hyundai belonging to Erwin.
Finding his car this weekend is just the first step. She wants answers about what happened to her brother.
At first it was just purely unbelievable, you know, that this could be happening now, in December. First it was, we got to find the car, and when we find the car, we'll find him. But we found the car, but we didn't find him.
Mitchell, the Camden County Sheriff's Department, have found the remains of who they believe to be Donald Erwin, a man who has been missing since December of 2013.
They have found his remains. One thing, Donnie had a hip replacement, a titanium hip replacement, and It is my understanding that they were able to find a titanium hip with the remains that they found in the pond where we discovered the car.
Donald Erwin's family has been notified, and his sister Yvonne Erwin Bowen wrote in a Facebook post what a special Christmas this is. Even though you're not with us, we know where you are now, and we can rejoice because of it.
Holding on tight to the rain.